Hi everyone, it's me again, Joni. Feeling a little better today. Still feeling kind of lazy. I could have done this one sitting up, but honestly, I had just laid down after sitting. Oh my gosh. Why in the world do I yawn like this? I don't yawn when I'm having conversations, and I talk a lot. I mean, I don't think I yawn. I never paid attention. Maybe I do. Anyway, so I'm feeling some better. My throat's not feeling as bad. My nasal stuff is not quite as bad. But since last night, my tear ducts are hurting, especially this one. It feels so... I cannot describe it. But it's like strange because it's like quite a lot of discomfort in one tiny little focused area. And it's driving me nuts, you know? When something more diffuse hurts, you know, your arm, your leg, your back, your finger even, but this is like the tiniest area. And I tried like massaging below it, you know, because of, you know, like in case the tear duct's getting clogged, because they can do that. But normally symptoms of a clogged tear duct are like, I looked this up, people. I mean, I don't know everything. Involve it like draining a whole lot on your eye and everything, and it's not. And I know this sounds really stupid, but honest to God, and I know I'm crazy, I have even thought about, I pierced my nose when I was like 15. It was a thing. And then I took it out. But I remember when I did it, because I did it at home, my eyes watered so bad. And honest to God, except for like getting hit in the nose, I can't think of anything to make you cry that bad, except maybe an onion. And I don't think I have one. And I thought maybe I'll like try to stick a needle to pierce my nose or something. Yeah, I think I'm a little delirious from being sick too much. But, you know, when you're sick and stuff is bothering you, you just want it to stop. So, last night I watched one of the Experiencing Nirvana videos. And I'm sure if you have seen any of my videos, I guarantee you've seen her videos, because she's like the most prominent person out there that's doing the gastric bypass, RNY, you know, everything. She's been doing it for a couple of years at least, I think, and, you know, has had some pretty rough outcomes, I think, that weren't as good of experiences as they could have been. And so I was watching this one video last night, and I saved it to my stuff to kind of keep as a reminder to myself. And one of the things I noticed is that she will ramble on for hours, and she will squirrel, as she says it, which is like going down I have ADD, and I just end up, you know, going down another path than what I started talking about. But it was like 10 things I wish I knew before gastric bypass surgery. And to begin with, you know, some of the things she was saying sounded, some of the things, like they were leading down a path I didn't agree with. And then by the time she got finished what she was saying, I realized I did agree based on what her experience was. But the biggest thing I find is that so many people don't get educated properly on all of the surgeries. And she was saying that with my physician, it wasn't just the classes that educated me on it. I saw the physician, and he sat down, and I told him, I was like, oh, I've been to a thing before, you know, at UVA, University of Virginia in Charlottesville, because I was thinking about this a few years ago, and I already know I want the lap band, so you don't even have to tell me about the others. And I think I might have mentioned this in a much earlier video, but he was like, well, listen, I have to present all the options to my patient. And then you can decide. I'm not going to try to sway you one way or the other, but I'm at least going to educate you about all of these things. And he talked to me for an hour. Now, he covered the lap band, he covered the sleeve, and he covered the gastric bypass. And I had no interest in a bypass when I went there, but I left on the fence and thinking I might want a bypass, which, as y'all know, if you've watched any of my other videos, I did eventually have. And, you know, most of the time I'm doing quite well with it. Now, he did say that there were other procedures, namely the duodenal switch, that he did not perform. But if I felt that and he briefly explained what it was, but he said, you know, if I wanted to go that route or was more interested in that, then he could refer me to a physician who performed those surgeries, because he just did not. And I wasn't interested in that in any way. So I thought that was good. I feel bad when people are not informed properly. I think it's every doctor's job to take the time to inform you personally, not just, I mean, the classes, yes. I feel like some people weren't even given the right classes or given enough information. You know, not everybody learns in the same way. And I think in my classes and in all my preparation, I think was top notch. If you live in Southwest Virginia or Northeast Tennessee, my doctor was Dr. Kramer at Comprehensive Weight Management, I think. It's in Kingsport. He also is a patient, having had the surgery himself, like a long time ago when it was a much more difficult surgery. I would highly recommend him. And I would highly recommend his program. And if you're looking for an easy way out, and not having to go through a checklist of doing every kind of thing in the world, the psychological evaluations, nutrition classes, meeting with the nutritionist, doing homework, things like that about what you're going to eat afterwards, you know, having to go to a support group, this is not the doctor for you. But I think if you're not willing to do all that, this weight loss surgery is probably not the thing for you. I'm just flat out going to tell it. I mean, if you can't even do the waiting process, and it's hard to wait and prepare yourself for it, and take the time to learn and listen and want to know exactly what's best for your body and how to do it, don't proceed. It is not for you. You are not the person that this is going to benefit. But if you are able to deal with it, then deal with it. And one of the things that she talked about was going to therapy. And, you know, I think that can be a very important part of the gastric bypass surgery. I know one of the examples they gave me, like when I went to UVA-Wise, UVA-Wise is a college around here, I'm confused. University of Virginia in Charlottesville for my, like, long day of consult about stuff, which was overwhelming with information. It was a lot. But they said, you know, for example, like, people might have been abused in their history, you know, when they were children, and or teens, whatever, and eating was their comfort, and it also was, you know, subtly in their mind a way to, whether they realized it or not, make themselves, you know, unattractive, so they felt like they weren't targets for abuse and people would leave them alone. There's a lot of psychology that goes into that, but, you know, having therapy ahead of time was important to make sure that you didn't lose weight and, you know, get your life back, but then be walking down the street and somebody whistle at you and you totally have a breakdown. And I mean, I know I'm doing this from a female perspective, but I mean, I'm a female, I'm not a male. I mean, I welcome any thoughts, comments, questions, or concern, open dialogue with a male about, you know, what's up, from their perspective. I have no concerns about that. I'm not saying, oh, this is only information for women. I'm just saying that this is some information that I've heard of. So definitely, even though you don't want to get into the psychology of it, and you might not want to talk about things that are like buried secrets in your life and open it back up, if you don't, you will likely have a lot of problems with this, because you have a lot of changes to your body very fast. People will start looking at you, and if you're not prepared for that, you know, it can go very badly. I know one of the things that she talked about, I mean, I hate, like, I'm biting off of her and referencing her, but there's so much, like, some of it was a lot of wisdom in what she had to say. And she said, you know, different doctors do make your stomach a different size in her surgery, and make your pouch different sizes. And when she had hers done, the doctor left it bigger than she thought she was going to make it. And she said basically after she had the gastric bypass, and after she got over having the stricture, from the word go, she could, you know, eat whatever she wanted and drink whatever she wanted, and, you know, still never felt full. And she said, and this is a quote from her, it was like putting a Tic Tac in a whale's mouth. And I loved it. I loved the analogy. I thought it was great. So, that's not been my experience at all. You know, I get full. I don't eat that much. I mean, I have no idea what size my doctor made my pouch, but I think it's just right. Like, for instance, and I might have mentioned this before, but I was eating, like, some little cheese cubes, and I said a prayer over them, and my daughter was like, do we have to pray over our snacks too? And I was like, well, I mean, I don't know. I normally would just think meals, but this is like a meal for me, so I pray. So anyway, that, and one other thing that she mentioned, and she hit it right on. So I'm going to say this, not everybody dumps. I mean, I dump. I've dumped once, and that was enough. Obviously it wasn't enough because I tried candy after that. But, like, I can handle certain amounts of sugar, small amounts. Like, I try to keep things under, like, 6 or 7 sugars if I'm gonna have something that has sugar in it. I stay completely away from the high fructose corn syrup, but I will have, you know, when it's somebody's birthday, a very small piece of, and I do mean small, of birthday cake. And I'm trying to think of what else. You know, to begin with, I was like, no carbohydrates, nothing at all. Like, I had basically almost a carbohydrate-free diet, which is insane, and it was so restrictive. And I mean, now, like, yes, I will let myself have crackers with my cheese, some things like that, which doesn't mean I sit and eat a whole sleeve of crackers, but it means that I found a reasonable carbohydrate balance. But no, I'm not doing what I did back in, like, I don't know, November, December, where I'm like, oh, I'm eating candy, I can eat a small little Snickers bar or this or that. I basically have still left that stuff alone mostly. Hardly at all ever. And a lot of people dump from fried foods. There's one fried food that I have, well, two technically, that I have tried, that I have eaten, that sits okay with me. And that is, I eat chicken nugget Happy Meal when I have to go somewhere out, and we don't have a lot of food choices around where I live. We're lucky to even have McDonald's. I'll be very honest with you. We didn't have so much in the last few years. But, when I'm out and about and everybody wants something to eat here or there, I just try to find something that I can eat within wherever they are. And the one place that I find, more difficult, because I'm also picky, is McDonald's. But I have found if I order a Happy Meal, I can eat 2 nuggets and, a few fries, sometimes, several fries. And that's it. And then I have the small, like, unsweet tea that I put Splenda in. It's the little kid size, but I don't drink it with my food. I just give it one quick taste, because if I drink it with my food, it will make me sick and cause me pain. So I don't do that. But like, my husband works at Long John Silver's, and they have fish, which that was the only fish I really liked. And, it's full of fried stuff. And I do not eat the Long John Silver's. I've thought about trying it once or twice, but I'm just not going there, because if I tried stuff that's not good for me, that I'm not supposed to have, then I will eventually let that stuff weasel its way back into my life, and it's not okay. Some things are within reason, and some things are not. So, I was thinking about, so I've seen people post about how many calories they eat per day and whatever, and I'll be honest, I'm 9 months out. I think in most days, I'm probably somewhere between 600 and 800 calories. I'm not that hungry. And when I am, it doesn't take a lot to fill me up. Those balanced breaks that my mom got me from Sargento, they usually just about fill me up. They're pretty good. You know what else besides yawning a lot? I say a lot. Yes, I do. Well, that's me. Y'all have noticed by now. And if this is your first time and you want to go back and look at my old videos, or you're thinking about whether to do it or not, just know I yawn a lot and I say a lot. And I don't care whether I'm fixed up and pretty, or whether I'm feeling sick and my hair is like this, that I haven't even brushed today. I will make a video when I'm thinking about it and say what's on my mind. So, one thing she talked about was, you're going to have to exercise for the rest of your life. And I've been very honest with the fact that I have not been exercising much, but I've gotten around and am doing more than I did before, and that's like so much more exercise to begin with. But I'm still a lot of a couch potato. But I've also been sick a lot. I've been more of a bed potato. But I just want to feel better for like a week and then start exercising again. I don't want to like start it immediately the day I feel better, because I don't want to run myself down. But I just want to get better and get it over with, so I can, it's springtime, it's May the 9th, and I want to, it's gorgeous outside. I want to be out in it, not in here in the bed. I got stuff to do. I have a life to live. That's right. I have a life now, and I want to live it. My life, it has been saved by this surgery. And I think, one thing that, even though I've had a lot of problems, I don't think I've had a lot of problems, but I've had some problems. Even the stuff I've gone through and the stuff I'm going through, I would look back on all of it, and I would tell you, I would do it again in a heartbeat. It has saved my life. It has changed my life. It has given me a life, not just an existence. Before, I was just existing and medicating and eating. And that was it. And now I feel like a person again. I feel like I got my life back. So, now I want my whole life back. I want to stop being sick so I can have it all back. And choose to spend each day how I want to, instead of exhausted in the bed taking anti-congestants, antihistamines and decongestants. Listen, I'm done. That's all. Wherever you are in your journey, I hope you're doing well. Bye.